Yeah. The cowboy hat. So let's begin with our focus statement, shall we? It's right over here. It's right up there. It will be there. Thanks, Michelle. Right here, right there. So let's say it with all the V's: vim, vigor, velocity, vivaciousness, and voluptuousness, and every other V. All right, here we go. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. Yes, awesome. Thank you. That feels good. So this year we are working with a theme here at Centers for Spiritual Living, the theme it being spirituality in action. And we are once again already into another month. Month 9. Amazing. I just don't know where this year is going, but okay, it's gone. And it's been wonderful so far. So this month's theme that we're working with, it's right there in your Connect magazine, ensuring stewardship of the planet. And right there on the front, we're doing one planet, one people, because in October, we are cherishing the human family. That's the focus for October. So we've kind of abbreviated that to one planet, one people, but today and this month we'll be specifically working with the theme of ensuring stewardship for the planet. Today, I wanted to talk to you about creation as the body of God. And before I do that, I want to acknowledge the slides, all the photos that you're seeing, or not all of them, but a lot of the photos that you're seeing, Michelle took on a recent sojourn around town. So you're seeing a lot of Riverside photos. This one is at the Mission Inn, so you'll just have to go and find where that is, the Mission Inn, but it's there. I was there when she took it, so I know where it is. But at any rate, so it's the creation as our creation is and as the body of God. So what do we teach here at Centers for Spiritual Living? Love lives here. Okay, awesome. Love that. There's only one life. What else? We're responsible for ourselves 100%. I love, wow, check this out. What you put into it is what you get out of it. We're all one. Okay, good. I'm doing my job, and not only am I doing my job, you're listening. Yes, and we also teach that God is all there is, yes? Right? Giadi. Oh, that, right? Abbreviated Giadi. God is all there is. Giadi, right? God is all there is. So that is the premise from which we move, right? That is the foundation of what we teach, and that is the foundation, that's the core of where we are, if God is all there is. So in the beginning, God, or the divine, whatever you're choosing to call the divine this moment, but God is all there is, the divine is all there is. In the beginning, God. So therefore, 14 billion plus years ago, what was there? God, right? And so if God created all of creation, and God is all there is, what could creation be? God, right? It's the body of God. This is what we believe, and this is what we affirm here at Centers for Spiritual Living, that all of life, that all of creation is a divine emanation, impartation, and manifestation and demonstration of the one life, which is the divine, which is God. Therefore, all of creation, the entire universe, and from every quark to every black hole and every solar system and every galaxy has to be the divine made manifest, the body of God. Because if God is all there is, that there was nothing else for God to create anything from other than itself, then it stands to reason then that all of life, all of creation, the entire universe, and every plane in between, multiple planes, has to be the divine. Has to be the divine made manifest. So in order for consciousness, in order for the divine to know itself, to be self-aware, we talk about a self-aware universe, in order for consciousness to understand itself or to know itself, there has to be something for it to know, right? So therefore, there has to be form. You can't know something if there isn't something there to know, right? You can't be conscious of something unless there's something there to be conscious of. So the way that the divine understands itself and knows itself and experiences itself is through form, is through the body of the divine, is through creation. So creator and creation are one and the same. It is through you, it is through me, it is through, hey Amber, it is through all of us, through all of life, through the trees and the birds and the bunnies and the mosquitoes and the water bugs, aka cockroaches. It is through all of these things that the divine is experiencing itself, that the divine is knowing itself in greater and more wonderful ways, so that it has the experience of the mosquito, and it has the experience of Sarah, and it has the experience of the planet, and it has the experience of all of creation. That's how it's knowing itself. That's how it knows us. It's how it recognizes the mosquito. And long before humans showed up on this planet, right, there were millions of creatures created for millions of years, created long before we showed up, right? And all those creatures were not created so that humans could somehow figure out how to use them. Right? Right? We're just an animal, part of the larger animal kingdom. What distinguishes humans from our animal brothers and sisters and siblings, at least what we think distinguishes us, is that we have choice and we have free will and we are self-aware. Right? That's some of us. Okay. We're not going to go there this morning. Yeah, no. But, as Shawnee pointed out, her cat Maggie definitely has a will to get outside, right? So it's interesting to see that that there is that will of creation, that there is that we are created in the image and likeness. Yes, we humans are created in the image and likeness, but let us not forget that all of creation is created in the image and likeness, right? So in preparing for this and looking at this, I was reading the Spiritual Ecology book. That is the book for the month. It's a fabulous book. It's a collection of essays that a gentleman has collected, and one of the essays in there is an essay by Richard Rohr. Richard Rohr is a Franciscan monk who is really out there sharing and telling it as he sees it, right? And sharing with the world. And so he was in this article, in the essay within this larger body of work, he was talking about and he was discussing how Christianity contributes to where we are now today as a society and where we are as a planet in terms of climate change. And he addresses what he feels is Christianity's role and responsibility for the state that we're in right now, which I find fascinating that this is a Catholic Franciscan monk. And so he goes all the way back to Genesis, and he says that in Genesis it stands to reason, folks, that, if God created everything, then everything has to be the divine because there's nothing else except the divine. Okay, so right on, Richard. We're right there with him on that one, right? And then you get a little bit further in chapter 1, and it says that God created humans, and gave the world and humans dominion over all of the planet and all of the animals and all of the plants and all over everything. Gave dominion, right? And here's where we run into trouble. Because as Christianity spread throughout throughout Europe and began to really inform the Western mindset, that there created this separation of there is the earth, it's inert, it doesn't live, it's not a living being, it's here for us to use, every animal, every plant, everything is for us to use, right? That's how it began to be interpreted and began to spread. And as we had colonization and as we had people moving around the planet and globalization and capitalism and all these other isms continuing to spread this idea, then what we have eventually come to is we've come to, for many, that the earth is here to be used, and that all its inhabitants are here to be used by us, that we are the top of the food chain, we're the most intelligent, we're the most self-aware, that everything is here for our use. There were whole groups of people before, and there are still whole groups of people now, indigenous peoples, that understand that that's not the way this works. That we are one ecosystem, that we are one whole body, that every sentient being, and you can argue sentience, but every being, everything has the divine intelligence, everything has that divine life, so then everything has to be our brothers, sisters, and siblings. Right? So, our sister in the Amazon is burning, right? We talk about the creation, our creation as being the body of God. Well, the Amazon, we often hear now, there's more awareness being brought to it, are the lungs of the planet, right? That the Amazon forest that produces 20% of our oxygen. 20% of our oxygen. And it takes in 1/4, 25%, it takes in 1/4 of all the carbon dioxide on the planet. That this is a regulatory system that that its lungs are breathing, that the earth is breathing. And a beloved who has forgotten who he is, has encouraged folks to go ahead and have a fire day and set the Amazon on fire to clear more space for agriculture, right? And so the Amazon is burning. And as the Amazon is burning, there's 40,000 species of plants. There's over 1 million, or there's hundreds of thousands of species of animals, and there's over 1 million indigenous people that are threatened by what's happening in the Amazon. And why should we care? Do you want to breathe? Do you want to breathe? Right? So what has happened is that there is this sense of separation that has occurred, that we have forgotten who we are, that we have forgotten ourselves, that we have forgotten that we are the divine made manifest, and we have forgotten that each one of us is the divine made manifest, and we have forgotten that our earth, our planet, the animals, the trees, and everything on it is the divine made manifest. We have forgotten that every plane of existence is the divine made manifest. And so we have been able to separate ourselves and say, not me. That's not me. Those people aren't me. Those animals aren't me. Those trees aren't me. It's not happening here in Riverside. We've forgotten. It's not happening here in the North. It's not happening here in North America. So why, right? Fine, doesn't matter. It's happening over there. We've gotten to the point of not me, of separation, that we've entered into that idea of complete separation, and what we've forgotten is we've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten that we are one with the one, that we live, move, breathe, and have our being in and as the one, and it in and as us. That is the truth of our being, and that's the truth of the being of all of creation, so we've forgotten that. And what's really true is that we're interconnected. We have that butterfly effect, right? Do we have butterflies today, Shawnee? No? Okay, that's fine. Not a problem. But we have the butterfly effect, right? That the idea of a butterfly flapping its wings on one side of the planet causes a hurricane on the other side of the planet, right? Right? Causes the wind to shift. Right, that there is this interconnectedness, there's this interwovenness, there is this piece that we are all part of. Like I said at the top, is that we are one ecosystem. So for this month, what I would love for you to contemplate, because on September 22nd, Jocelyn is going to be sharing some information with you about our Green Living Group, our sustainability group. But what I would like for you to begin thinking about, this is your homework for the month, okay, is to begin thinking about how and where you can begin to make changes in your own personal life. Because where does everything start? With us, right? It all starts with us. It all starts with our consciousness. So perhaps it's becoming a little bit more educated about what's going on in our global ecosystem. Perhaps it's learning a little bit more about who to write to or how to get involved with groups that are working for climate justice on the planet. You can come and you can attend on Saturday, the 21st of September. We are having the Riverside Interfaith Council and the Fellowship of Reconciliation are coming together, and there is a peace rally as climate change, or climate action for peace. And that's celebrating the UN, the United Nations World Day of Peace, and that is on the 21st of this month, which is a Saturday at 11:45, right at City Hall. And I've been invited to do the invocation for that. So that's something else that you can get involved in. We have we have the September 14th, we have our World Day of Service. There's 3 service projects that you can choose from to participate in. And then also on September 28th, we are doing the river cleanup, the Santa Ana River cleanup with Keep Riverside Clean and Beautiful, to participate in that. So there are lots of ways to begin to think about this. But what I want to bring us back to is remembering that we are not separate, remembering who we are. So I want to do a little breathing exercise here, because breathing is spiritual practice as well. And in honor of what's going on in the Amazon, I think it's important that we connect with that in a very physical way, in a very real way, in a very tangible way. So when we think of the breath itself, when we think of the in-breath and the out-breath, we recognize that there is this rhythm of life. It's a primal rhythm of life, just as our heartbeat is a primal rhythm of life. But there is this rhythm of life that is the breath. It's the in-breath, it's the out-breath, it's the flowing, it's the circle of life, it's the wheel of life that is forever continuing. It's breathing in and out, inhaling and exhaling, inspiring in spirit and expiring, allowing the spirit to move forth. Right? And that it is this cycle of life that we really need take no thought for, right? On a regular basis, yes, we can control our breath, but on a regular basis, we don't have to sit there and think, okay, inhale, exhale, right? To make it happen, it happens, because there is one life that is maintaining and sustaining its beloved creation. You are that beloved creation. And so spirit is nearer than breath. It is nearer than hands and feet. And it maintains and sustains us. It is always ever giving of itself to us, through us, and as us. So we can bring ourselves back to our breath. We can bring our attention to our breath, to our breathing, to remind ourselves of that infinite eternal life. To remind ourselves of who we are. To bring ourselves back into communion with this one life. So I invite you to just begin noticing your breath at this moment. You don't need to change it. Don't need to do anything about it. Just notice it. Just feel it. Feel the rise and fall of your chest, of your abdomen. Feel the cool air coming through your nostrils and the warm air exiting. Feel that cycle of movement. Feel how you are being maintained and sustained. And notice that you are not breathing. You are being breathed. That the infinite, the eternal, the one is breathing you. Is breathing this individualization of life. Is breathing itself. And in this, notice the oneness. Notice the conscious union. You as the divine. And I invite you to come back this time and space. And so as you move through this month, as you move through this week, as you explore ideas of ways that you too can make a difference on the planet, and if you think at any given moment that you don't think you can make a difference, breathe. Come back to the breath. Because you bringing yourself into alignment with the one brings the world around you in alignment. You're bringing your soul back into alignment, and your soul is part of the one soul, so you're bringing the world's soul back into alignment. Just breathe. Just breathe. And then take action upon that which has been revealed for you to take action upon. Perhaps it's doing away with disposable forks and plates and what have you in your personal life. Perhaps it's changing the way you're eating. Perhaps it's changing the car you drive. Perhaps it's changing any number of things. Perhaps it's writing to your congressman. Perhaps it's writing to Big Oil. Perhaps it's writing to others. Whatever it is that you're called to do, your part, remember to breathe. Tap into the connection first, and then act from there. Remember that we are all brothers and sisters and siblings. There is no spot, there is no life that God is not. And so it is. So I invite our practitioners to come forward and form a line across the front here. I'm going to move this back, Casey, for the moment. So this Sunday, as I mentioned, it's the first Sunday. So this Sunday we have the opportunity to provide you with the prayer wall. And this is an opportunity, all of our practitioners who are present, a better way of saying that, are here and available for prayer for you this morning. So we invite you to begin to form a line down the center of the sanctuary here if you would like to receive prayer. And the way that this is going to happen is you'll come forward and you will share with the practitioner your name and what you're choosing to experience this day. And there's words up there that you can choose to experience any one of these things. Well, we're only going to ask you to choose one at this time rather than, a whole litany. Choose one that is your favorite for today, the one that's resonating with you today. And so you'll speak your name and say, today I choose to experience. We use affirmative prayer here, which is 5 steps, and we begin first with recognition that God is all that there is, and then we know that if God is all that there is, then I must be that as well. And then we state affirmations, a series of affirmations of statements, affirming that which we wish to speak into creation, the word we wish to speak into creation. Then we express our gratitude, and then we release it into the divine mind, into the universe, into law, knowing that it is done because it's already completed in the mind of the one. So I'm going to do the first 2 steps of affirmative prayer, and then when you step forward, our practitioners will start right at realization and continue through to completion. And then we invite you to return to your seats once you're via the side aisles once you've received prayer. So here we go. I recognize that there's only one life. In the beginning, God, and in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and that which God did not create was never ever created. So that I know that all of life, all of creation is this one life made manifest, is this one divine, is God made manifest. So everything, everyone, everything, absolutely all of it is the divine in form. It is the emanation, impartation, and manifestation and demonstration of this one life, this one high idea, which I know to be love, which I know to be power, which I know to be peace, which I know to be harmony and joy and bliss and abundance, and so much more. And because I know that there is only this one, I know that I am one with it, that the who of who I am is the divine made manifest, that all the qualities of God exist right there within me, right here within me, and right here within each one of us. And so it is simply a matter of recognizing it and calling that forth in this moment, calling forth the love, the abundance, the joy, the peace, the harmony, bringing ourselves into alignment with that and allowing it to come forth and claiming it as it is. And so I invite these beloved standing before us to go ahead and come forward, state your name to the practitioner, and state that which you're choosing to claim this morning, this day. And so as our practitioners complete, I invite them to stand and surround the sanctuary. I also invite our core council to go ahead and stand and surround the sanctuary.
Children that have been getting their orders to get out of here 33 days. We're having medical treatment. We're going to be ripped out of that medical treatment.
Okay.
It breaks my heart.
And so I recognize all of the words spoken here this day, knowing that they are complete and already done in the mind of God, knowing that each beloved, whether spoken or unspoken, has known truth, has affirmed truth, that each one is one with the one, so therefore it must already be done. So I give thanks, I release this into the law, I let it be so, and so it is. So we have Wasey and Kane. Now I can't say it right. Casey and Wayne returning to us.